Hey, it's Jeff Garber, mortgage expert, and I know you guys are all sitting on the edge of your seats waiting for the trifecta, the third report coming in and how it affects mortgage rates. And I apologize for getting this out late. I was victim of a FOMO incident here, fear of missing out. I heard that there were tuna biting really close to inshore, maybe 10, 15 miles out. So we decided to jump on the boat this morning and go after it. And of course, that wasn't the case. So I lost a few hours of my day for fear of missing out. But I am back and getting all caught up in the markets. As I promised, I wanted to give you part 3 update on the economic activity for this week. And as a quick review, Wednesday was Fed Day, and we know that the Federal Reserve increased the overnight lending rate by 0.75 of a point, and we already know that that did not have an impact on mortgages. We know that mortgage rates got better. Then yesterday on Thursday, we got the first reading on second quarter GDP, which I said was a negative number, meaning we're inching closer and closer to a recession if we're not already in it. And that too did not have a negative impact on mortgage rates. And the trifecta was this morning, today, 8:30 a.m. One of the Fed's favorite measures of inflation came out, and that's called the PCE, which stands for the Personal Consumption Expenditure. And that number was high, and we are at highest levels of inflation since the 80s, but we already knew that. Even though the report was a little bit higher than expectations, I think the markets kind of already know inflation is an issue, and they already know, especially the bond market, already knows that the Fed is raising rates so that they can get ahead of inflation and get control of that. So let me get myself out of the way, and I'll show you that we are still in good shape for mortgage rates, okay? And I'm trying to get ahead of the media because they try to spin this around, and they will gladly tell you that housing is terrible and that mortgage rates are going up when in fact the opposite is happening. So I am out of the way here. Let me show you what you're looking at. If this is the first time you're looking at one of my videos, you are looking at mortgages trading live right now in the bond market. And this chart is really easy to read. All you need to know are 3 things. Number 1, green is a good day. Number 2, red is a bad day. And number 3, as bond prices go higher, mortgage rates go lower. Well, here we are back at Wednesday. Fed announcement, green candlestick, higher bond prices, lower mortgage rates. Thursday, negative GDP number, higher green candle, lower mortgage rates. Friday, bad inflation number comes out, green candle, higher bond prices, lower mortgage rates. If we go all the way back a month to June 15, 6 weeks ago, when there was the last Fed meeting, you can see that for the most part, since the Fed started aggressively hiking rates at each of these meetings, the bond market has reacted positively, and the reason why is because the bond market realizes that the Fed is trying to get ahead of inflation by raising short-term rates, which slows spending, which ultimately brings inflation back down, and therefore interest rates are responding favorably. Now, we aren't out of the woods by any stretch of the imagination, but I can tell you that over the last 6 weeks, mortgage rates have improved, or at least gone sideways a little bit. In certain time frames. But all in all, right now, mortgage rates are lower today than they were yesterday, and they're lower than yesterday than they were Wednesday. And so we made it through the trifecta of economic news, and I think that's great news. We're going to let this sink in, and then I will be back next week with an update after the markets digest these 3 days. We'll see what the new patterns are, and we'll see if mortgage rates want to continue to cooperate. But if you are a buyer, do not fall for the media's scare tactics and sit on the sidelines. Rates are coming down a bit, and just realize that at some point, if you do find your forever home, that you probably won't have this rate forever. All right, there will become a refi opportunity down the road, and if it makes sense, oftentimes it does when rates come down a point or maybe more, it might make sense for you to refi. So keep that in mind. I hope these videos are helping, and I will catch you next week.